there's really two ways that I would recommend, or two tactics that I would want you to sort of try to adopt. And the first one is, it's real simple. It's to ask questions to probe for the pain that you resolve. And like I said before earlier in this, I say it all the time, is that the best salesperson is the one that asks the best questions. And you'll notice here that I say questions that probe for pain, and specifically, I would want you to ask questions that probe for the pain that you fix. Let me expand on that. There might be salespeople out there that think they're all hotshot because they ask maybe a question like, "Let me ask you, what keeps you up at night?" They might ask that to a prospect, and they might think that they're real sophisticated. And I will say that that's better than just talking about their product. At least you're asking the prospect a question, you're getting them talking, you're extracting information. But I don't think that's a good question to ask because it's so broad. What keeps you up at night? First of all, your prospect might just not know off the top of their head what is the most concerning thing. But the bigger problem with that question is that it's so broad that you're very likely to get an answer back that has nothing to do with the area that you help with. For example, let's say you sell accounting, something related to accounting services, and when you say what keeps you up at night, the prospect says something that's related to IT. Okay, so their answer gives you nothing to work with. It doesn't take you in a direction of where you could talk about how you can help. It actually takes you in a less than optimum situation where you're at a disadvantage because they say something that you don't have any knowledge about. They might say, well, our supply chain software is outdated and it's causing a problem with our inventory management, which is like a foreign language to you because you want to talk to them about accounting. So now you don't even know you don't know how to follow up on that, and they're telling you what's the most important thing to them, and you don't have a way to solve that. So what I would say is ask questions that probe for the pain that you fix, and that's the way to get to a good list of questions to ask. Because if I were to say to you, I could talk to you all day about why you should ask more questions, and you could probably say, I agree with you, I need to ask more questions, but I don't know what questions to ask. Well, here's a process to help you to get to developing a good list of starting out probing questions. And what it is it's for each pain point that you fix, that each pain point you could usually ask a question or two to see if that pain point exists. So we're back to the gym membership. And so if you help someone that is having trouble with losing weight, then how important is it for you to lose weight or get in better shape? Because the thing is that you might, let's say that you sell something to help someone to lose weight. You might see someone that is extremely overweight, and you could assume that you could assume that they need and want what you sell. But the reality is that you don't know if that's a pain point for them. I mean, you probably know it technically is, but I guess that this is a good example of they might be unaware of the pain. It might be latent pain. But anyways, the key thing here is that we arrived at that question by looking at that pain point. So in theory, if we have a good list of pain points, then we can use each pain point to at least lead us to brainstorming a good list of questions to ask. And what that does is that creates a real efficient way for us to use that very short amount of time. Remember, I said if we had an hour where we have our prospect laying on the couch and we can sit there and just say, how do you feel? Tell me what you're thinking, when you're at work or whatever. I mean, just some really broad questions and just see where the prospect goes. That's great, but we don't have that time. We don't have a short window. These are really efficient questions. They're going to get right to, seeing if the problems that you fix are concerns for the prospect. Now, I'm not going to say they're perfect, right? Because you still might reach a prospect that is denying it either on purpose, or they just don't know the answer, or they don't, and so, or you might, not come up with a great list of pain points, or you might not come up with a great list of questions from the pain points, but at least this structured process should take you in the right direction. And by the way, this process I'm showing you here, if you were to go through this, it's not just like let me go through it once and then I have everything I need for the rest of my time that I'm ever going to sell this product. This is creating your sales pitch. And your sales pitch should be a living, breathing document and process. If you go through this once, you would come back to it because you're going to create these list of questions. Just like I told you earlier that I developed that question for project managers and that they denied it. And so we were not getting great responses at all to that question. So what did we do? We modified our sales pitch to modify that question. I can't remember the question we changed it to, but we basically we wanted to get to the same pain point, but we asked the question to where it put the person less on defense. But we only really recognized that after we used the question and it monitored how it was being received. So this is a living, breathing process, but hopefully this is a process that you can use to start to organize your thoughts. By the way, if I go back to me leaving that workshop as a salesperson and going to my desk and saying, I want to focus more on pain, but I don't know what to say or how to get it, this is a process that would have helped me. If I would have thought of this or gone through this then, I would have had more clarity around how to get pain in my conversation. What I ended up doing in that scenario is I just went back to being a product selling salesperson. I knew had to get pain, but if I was in that 2 to 5 minutes on the phone with a prospect, I just talked about the product and try to close, validate a need or interest. So anyways, that's a process you can use to go through to develop your questions. So I told you 2 ways to get pain into conversations or in front of a prospect. I mean, it might be in an email. You might be communicating via email. But the 2 ways, method number 1 was asking good questions that probe for the pain that you fix. Method number 2 is sharing examples of the problems that you help to fix. To give you an example of this, let's go back to sort of a medical situation. So think of you not feeling well and going to a doctor. Now the doctor might think, okay, you have this type of cold or sick, issue, right? So let's say they ask you a couple probing questions, like, well, okay, let me see. Are you experiencing this? And you say, kind of, not really. Your answer was in that case, your answer wasn't yes, I'm experiencing that a lot. So then they ask you question number 2, and they say, okay, well, are you experiencing this? And you say, not really. So you give a no to that question. They ask you question number 3 of, do you feel this? And you say, kind of, sort of, not, I don't know. Anyways, where I'm going through with that is that the doctor asks you 3 questions, and your questions don't really tell them, no, I don't have that, what they think you might have, and your answers don't tell them, yes, I do have that. It's sort of like in the middle, and it doesn't give them enough information to give you a diagnosis. So at this point, the doctor might just give you the symptoms. So they're asking you questions. At this point, they're going to say, okay, let me stop asking you questions. Do you have this symptom, this symptom, this symptom, this symptom, this symptom? Do you have any of those? So, and that at that point, you might say, yes, I have most of those. So what they did there is they shifted from asking questions to just giving you examples of the problems that they think you might be experiencing. And you can apply that to your world, whereas if you sell a product that solves a certain set of pain points, you can start out a conversation, by asking a prospect some questions to see if they have those concerns or those pain points. But if their answers don't really take you to really validating that they have the issues you fix, then you can just say something like this. Oh, okay, well, I don't know. You may or may not fit with what we do. Let me ask you this. We work a lot with VPs of IT, and they often have these 3 problems when they come to us. Problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. Do you have those or you don't have those? Let me just be very direct with you. And so at that point, your prospect might say, yes, I have 2 of those 3. And then, okay, so that's another way to get pain into the conversation. I told you I'm going to show you some examples. And so of what that looks like. So let me jump over to Sales Scripter, by the way, and let me actually just show you. So one thing that Sales Scripter will do is, I showed you that structured process where that you could go through to organize your thoughts. One thing Sales Scripter will do is it'll take you through that process. You'll notice here, gym membership for people looking to lose weight. I actually have a sales pitch campaign in here where I did the brainstorming of that for that product. So you can see here, Sales Scripter will take, I mean, you could organize your thoughts in an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, and I don't try to sell anything to someone that they don't need what we have. One thing Sales Scripter will do is it just provides you the structured process for you to kind of organize your thoughts and build out all those different campaigns. You saw where I pulled up all those different heads for those different types of buyers. If you do want to go in that direction of creating multiple campaign sales pitches for the different products or the different buyers, that could be a lot different to manage. Doing that in Sales Scripter can be a little easier because you can just sort of keep all those points separate and then access them in your different documents that we create, which I'll show you here in a minute. But as you can see, Sales Scripter will take you through the process of brainstorming benefits and pain points and questions and help you to organize all your thoughts. Once you do all that, then Sales Scripter provides you with what we call a sales playbook. For starters, you'll get a set of call scripts and appointment scripts and a whole bunch of stuff. And I do want to point out that I try to use this gym membership product just because it's something that everybody can kind of get their hands around instead of using some product that I'm familiar with that you might not be aware of. And I will say that this probably is more of a product that you could use this methodology for, but you might not cold call people and try to set appointments for gym memberships. But even that being said, we can still look at some of these documents to see how bringing pain into a conversation might apply. So like here's a call script, and you have your intro, you kind of opening up with a value statement, and then right away in this script we're going to say, hey, you know what, I'm not sure if we're a good fit for if you're a good fit for what we provide, so I had a question or two. If I could ask you real quick, how do you feel about your physical appearance or level of fitness, right? So where this call script, basically I open with a value proposition. In our methodology, what we do is we call this a soft disqualify. We do like a soft little takeaway to kind of decrease someone's guardedness, and then we jump into asking a couple questions. Now, I showed you that these questions are attached to pain points. So the topic here today is how to get pain to be the center of conversations, and I told you one of the ways to do that is to ask questions that probe for pain. So this script is designed to get pain to be the center of the conversation. And so you have these qualifying questions here. Now, you also heard me give that example of the doctor asking questions and giving sort of lukewarm answers, and then just skipping ahead to giving the symptoms that they're looking for. This script actually does that, and you can see here, okay, well, when we talk with other people looking to lose weight, we notice that they often express challenges with, and here's a list of pain points. So here are those two approaches of asking questions and then just jumping straight to pain points. And that's one of the call scripts that is provided by Sales Scripter. Sales Scripter also has one with a pain intro, and if I just show you that real quick, this one kind of says, hey, the reason why I'm reaching out to you is I know that we work with people looking to lose weight, and they often have these challenges. So this one just opens up with pain points. So just sort of a little different type of call script there, but this one focuses on pain right out of the gate. Just from a Sales Scripter demonstration standpoint, I do want to point out we also have these interactive versions of that same script. So this is that same exact document, but it's broken up into different sections here. So depending on what type of visual person you are and what type of learning you like to do and tools you like to use, this is just a different version. Over here you actually have objections that can come up, and you can use pain as a response to objection. So if someone says I'm not interested, you can redirect them back to the common problems that you help to fix. So that's another way to get pain to be the center of conversation, is when people try to get rid of you by giving you objections. A lot of your objection handling you can use pain points. So you can see here a lot of these objection responses have the option to redirect back to common problems. So that's just an example of how to use a call script to get pain to be the center of the conversation. If you agree that a consultative approach is better than a product pusher, and that focusing on pain more helps you to be more of a consultative salesperson, then in theory, these documents and these approaches will get pain more into your conversations. And the logic is that that would help you to increase the appointments you set or the leads you generate. I'm going to skip ahead. I'm sure you're interested in how to incorporate pain into emails, and so this folder here has email templates, and you'll see here pre-call email pain focus. And so if I click on this real quick, this is an email that it basically starts out, hey, the reason why I'm reaching out to you is we help with these challenges, pain, 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 and we help to decrease those areas, and that's why I'm reaching out to you. And then you try to schedule the appointment. So this is what we call a pre-call pain focus. So that's an example of using, so that's different than a product pushing email message. I can tell you, I get salespeople trying to sell to me every day, and I get emails every day from salespeople, and 99%, if not 100% of those emails are product selling, product pushing emails. Hey, I work for this company, we sell this, I want to schedule a meeting with you. And so this is not a product selling pushing approach. And then you can also use that pain message in a number of different, so here's a post call pain message, here's a post voicemail pain message. So here's a checking back in pain message. So this checking back in, is like, hey, it's been a while since we spoke. I thought I'd check back in with you. And this uses pain points as a reason to get engaged again. So there's a lot of different ways to incorporate pain into your email messages. I'm going to skip ahead to this next folder here, which is voicemail scripts. And you can see here's a voicemail pain message. So the reason why I'm reaching out to you is we know that people looking to lose weight have challenges with pain 1, pain 2. Here's a bunch of pain points, and actually we say to share up to 3, because that kind of fits well on a voicemail message. So those are some examples of how you can use pain in your call script, in your email templates, in your objection responses, in your voicemail scripts. And we're really talking only about pain today, but as trying to figure out the pain you offer, you also could if you use our process, you'll create a good list of benefits. And so these other messages and other emails and whatnot get filled in with the other points that you're going to create in that process. But again, the topic here today is pain, so I'll keep it focused on that. So that's a little bit of a demonstration of some of the documents you could create